they want to be at the events where you're speaking. That type of level of engagement and buy-in to you, because also there's this, with you owning your power comes with that you don't take, or in your circle of supporters, you don't have people who are wishy-washy about it. It's almost like everybody who's on your team is the unconditional love team. I always like to remind people you have the full authority in your life. And sometimes things feel good right now, and that's what you needed. Or sometimes 3 months from now, what I said was what you needed. I think it's always best to tune back into how it resonates with you. My goal is for you to leave feeling totally supported, encouraged, loved, nurtured, and seen. And so the information, words and images that come through, that's the intention, is that they're whatever you need for your highest and best good right now to make you feel amazing. All right, so if you'll take a deep breath in, and with your next breath in, picturing it going all the way down to your toes, and whether your toes are in socks or under the covers or however they're situated there where you're seated, you can wiggle your toes if that helps you to bring your awareness as you picture that breath going all the way there, and breathing out anything that's ready to be released right now. I'm feeling a few things in the chest area. I imagine the sensation I'm getting a little bit is of some things from the past that you've either been working to release over the past few months, or maybe even the past few weeks, of something that was a disappointment that you're really putting some attention to so that you can release it and just let it be what it was, but loosen the emotional damage, if you will, that this past thing caused to you. And also the way it changed your perception of yourself. I don't know what this event was, but I do know that there was an event that caused some hurt, pain, in a metaphorical way, heartache, and somewhat impacted your personal either self-esteem or self-view. So, and I'm also bringing that up because the work that you've been doing on yourself on a personal level is working. And I'm feeling, even as I'm saying this, it's like your whole being lights up with more delight and a feeling of good job, and yeah, things are working, things are happening. So, and even if you're not finished doing whatever emotional personal work to release this thing from the past or to change your perception of it, it's very close to being fully resolved in terms of where you want your own identity and perception related to this event to be. Yeah, somewhere between 80 and 98% done. That's the number I'm getting here. All right, I'm going to take another deep breath, and I'm still feeling a little bit of that heartache. So it's possible. Would you say you've had a life, either, I don't know if it's your whole life or in recent years, you've had some heartache, things that just disappointed you or broke your heart about people, or I don't know if it's how you were treated or not. Or how they treated someone close to you. Does any of this? Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, totally. I know what you're talking about. There's some stuff I really can't talk about because it's in the very much stages of exploding. So you're very right on.
Okay.
There's other people I have to talk about first.
Yes. Okay.
And so, but it's a conglomerate of my whole life coming to this moment of me really stepping into this other path. And so you're very much spot on that. Yeah, absolutely. It resonates.
Yeah, I'm going to get I should have warned you that I do cry sometimes. And as you're saying this, I'm getting the goosebumps and feeling all of the emotion flowing.
And I've been working hard on the emotional release lately. So I have done a lot of that, but I know that there's a lot to come because it's very deep. So, and I have really big energy. So it's very, I can see where it would affect. Yes, I feel things very deeply when I feel them.
Yes. Whew. Yes. And what is it that I want to say next? I'm glad that you honor and see and own that you have big energy. And the work I know is not always comfortable to do, as you know, but you doing it, it feels that what's to come next is going to be so great because of your big energy, what you bring to the world. And it feels that for various points in time, there were people who kind of tried to smush you down. That's the feeling I get, or like tamp you down in ways. I also feel, I don't know if people have been judgmental or critical of your children or how you parent them. I mean, probably any parent experiences that to some degree, but I feel that especially something about you and your children and the way you've done it, I also feel that has come about at a certain point in time. And so it's all of these collective things, and seeing and acknowledging for you this. Again, I know you are aware of this, but sometimes when we're doing what feels like the invisible work of healing ourselves and loving ourselves and stepping into our own power, there's that unknown period where it's a lot of work and there's not like the payoff of all the great things you did. And so, but it does feel like you're more than halfway through this growth healing process. And it's funny, I normally only light one candle for a session, and today I had to light 3, which I haven't done before because I lighted the second one and then I got this nudge like, no, she needs more candles here. So even before we got on the call, I was getting this feeling of, I don't know if you would use the word betrayal, that some people have either betrayed you or acted in a way that was very two-faced and harmful and hurtful and challenging, and this also this feeling of loving you and an aura of protection and abundance. I don't know if it was a financial betrayal or not, but I do know that whatever is happening with your finances, I do think that in the future it's going to be much better. Let's see if I can see. I don't know yet. I can look more into like timelines, but if this whole explosion and blow up and betrayal was impacting your finances, then I do find that things are going to turn for the better and improve in that way.
I love the 3 candles. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, and I know I also get the sense, or maybe you kind of alluded to, some of these things, we don't have to go into specifics, especially because this is going to be on YouTube, so you do not need to name any names or be like, well, my brother once removed second cousin, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't need those details, but whatever level that you want me to look into a situation or talk about things, I'm happy to do that. And I also know if I'm not working with specifics, I'll get as specific as I can and helpful, but you might need to direct me more. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes working with people, it's almost like you're getting warmer kind of thing if they don't give me a specific scenario and situation to look into.
I get that.
Yeah. So if at any point for the rest of this, if you say, well, look a little bit more into person A or situation B, I can do that, or I can just keep on going where I'm going and sharing with you what I'm receiving.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, it's interesting because like a week later, maybe, but like things, I mean, we're talking like Friday, I've got to tell some people. And so it's hard to mention specifics. Even, I guess it won't air for later, but it's very personal stuff that I'm trying to protect all involved. But it's definitely, I mean, you're hitting it. It's almost like a death and rebirth happening within life. And I feel like not even just this life, but I'm healing something really big that really hit me, that I've held on to for probably multiple lives. And I think a lot of it has to do with it's love, so the heart area is definitely it.
Yeah.
And like I've worked really hard at unconditional love of myself, and I'm really gaining strides of that, which is leading me into the next part of learning to receive true love. What is love
Mhm.
from someone else? What does that unconditional love from someone else look like?
Mhm.
And maybe that's it. Like I'm not sure I've ever been unconditionally loved.
Mhm. Yes,
That
by a
might be
grown
it.
up. I know you
By
have by children.
yes, by children I do. Yes, but
Yes.
by people in my life, yes.
Mhm. I'm getting this image. I don't exactly, I'm just going to start describing it for you, and then we'll see if it elaborates on its own or if it has meaning for you.
Mhm,
It almost feels red carpet vibes, but I get this feeling of like this lovely walkway that I don't know if it's a carpet leading to a hotel or carpet in front of like a convention center or a venue. There's a feeling of this rolled out red carpet and this polished beautiful venue, and I get a feeling of you in something like a pantsuit type of professional outfit. I don't know if you wear things like that, but and just strutting down this carpet with this confidence and also humor. And for me, when we talk about unconditional love, I don't know if that's the type of setting you're going to meet this person in, or if that's the energy that when you're having that energy of I'm walking down the red carpet in my smart looking professional outfit, whatever professional means for you. We could just say successful. It doesn't have to be
mhm.
professional. But I guess the reason I'm thinking maybe it's a pantsuit is that's a little bit of this successful, confident, what is the word? Independent. That's not exactly the right word I'm looking for, but
Powerful,
yeah, powerful woman. And
feminine energy.
and I love the humor and the lightness to it. It just feels, I don't know if you ever watched the Ellen show. I don't usually much, but her whole vibe of like happy
Mhm,
skipping and just quick responses and humor, there's a lot of that emotion in this engagement and this experience. And so when it definitely feels when you're in that type of energy, that makes the person who wants to unconditionally love you. I mean, there might be more than one person who's like, can I get a turn? Because it's very attractive in so many ways. It's not just visually they're attracted to you. Your energy makes them feel happy to be alive and joyful, and it's you got things you're going to do together, and it's like that's the other thing. And I don't know if Ellen is this way, but it feels like even if life throws something at you, you're just going to improv and bring it into the act and be like, well, now we got a pile of dog shit in a bag, but here's what we're going to do with it. Bam. And then you're like throw it off, and it's almost the bad things aren't going to affect you or touch you like they might in other circumstances.
That's beautiful, yeah. Well, I have this goal to be speaking in front of large audiences,
Oh, nice.
so it that hits home because
Mhm.
that's like, I can see that for myself,
Mm.
so I like that. Thank you.
I like that too. I know that you're maybe not asking about this, but I'm getting this
Mhm.
message of if you could start looking into an agent who places people or who helps
Mm,
make those arrangements. I don't even know if you're what stage of readiness you are, but
yeah.
regardless, it feels like that's a next step. Even if you're not ready for that agent to place you on the stages, finding that person, developing a relationship. I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but I do know that when you find this person, it's going to be somebody, oh my gosh, they're going to adore you. That's the kind of agent you want. Somebody who adores you so much, they don't even feel like they're working, having to arrange things for you. And also, okay, if I also get the impression if you work with a personal assistant, or it feels like this agent could also be like a virtual or executive assistant. So I don't know if you already work with someone like that, you could train them in some of these things, or they could start learning those things, or if that person's going to help you find it, or if eventually that'll just be the way your team is arranged. You have somebody who's an executive assistant slash agent, PR, social media person.
Mm.
Yes. And I do get the feeling there's a lot of people out there to hire, but one of your key distinguishing factors in picking who works with you is that they totally adore you, and you're not going to benefit from somebody who's like, yeah, this is my job and I do it and it's okay. Like I want the feeling of them that they want to be at the events where you're speaking, that type of level of engagement and buy-in to you, because also there's this, with you owning your power comes with that you don't take, or in your circle of supporters, you don't have people who are wishy-washy about it. It's almost like everybody who's on your team is the unconditional love team.
I love that.
Me too. Okay. Do you mind if I ask, is there a certain topic that you really want to talk on stages about? Because I'm getting, again, this whole joyful thing. Is it about joy and pleasure and like diving into life with, I don't know, with a slice of watermelon in one hand and something else in the other, and you're like, yeah, this is it.
I mean, but yes, it's definitely helping people realize how amazing they are in their authentic form. The word essence for me is really big, right? Like helping people realize the creative beings that they really are. We have this like stark definition of art, and it doesn't have to be that way, like you're creating right now. And so like that, helping people realize that when they create from their authentic essence, when they let it all out, that's when the magic happens. And that's what we need in this world, because we need you. We need your puzzle piece. When I see things, I see the puzzle pieces fitting together. And when you find it, you fit it, and then you get to explode. And so it's down that, all things in that. So yes, and joy is a big part. If you don't, when you create from your authentic essence, you find that joy, and then you're working in joy, and you're not depleting yourself. So yes, joy is big in all of it.
Oh, good. All right. And along with this, I love everything you're saying, but I'm just going to keep on moving because I want to maximize your time.
Absolutely.
To those of you in business, are you ticking away in your mind and starting to make connections? Oh, I think I would ask Rachel such and such. Well, go ahead and book yourself a session and let's dive in. Let's give you that clarity and support to help get you on the right track. So many times I will be on a webinar or a call with someone who's well-known thought leader or successful business person, and they'll say, try out these 6 things or try out these 4 things. We don't know what's going to work. We're not a psychic. Well, I am a psychic. I can tell you what is not going to work for you. So if you could narrow down those 6 to 8 things you could do to 1 or 2 things, that would save you massive amounts of time, massive amounts of energy. If you go through the playlist and listen to some of these other interviews, you'll notice you could get a very clear, specific thing to do in business. Sometimes they get 3 specific things. Sometimes they get 2 specific things, but they get the clear encouragement and direction for what they're working on. A lot of times it's a confirmation of what they've been thinking about, and sometimes it's something new and out of the blue. Whichever one it is for you, book a session, book to work with me for a package of sessions, and let's get you that support in your business. Let's not waste the time trying out all the things that spirit can confirm ain't going to work for you. And let's hone in on the areas that are going to work for you.
I don't know what type of events you're doing right now, but I'm getting 2 things. One, maybe it's a local event where you have a woman on stage and you're coaching her or doing whatever you're doing to help her bring out essence. Everybody sees it. It's being videoed probably. And even if there's only 8 people there, all those 8 people, that's super transformative. And I also am getting this vibe. Maybe that's why I got the thing about Ellen, because now I'm thinking about Tom Bilyeu. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube show, Impact Theory. There's something about the way that he sets it up. I don't see you doing it exactly like he does, but I get this feeling of maybe almost like Oprah style used to be, where it's you on a couch and another person with you, and it's you live coaching them. And maybe I'm thinking Tom Bilyeu, because he does that currently with his show Impact Theory. But I really feel that people would connect before you're on the big stages. People would even just connect with seeing a video of you. And I think there's something about the couch, which is why this keeps on coming up, that makes it feel okay. There's a level of comfort and approachability that people want from you, or that people will immediately resonate with you more. And not to say that you speaking on stages isn't going to be effective, but I love this idea of, it feels like I'm in the living room with you, watching you coach a friend, and now I'm feeling expanded and full of my essence and creative. And so I really like that approach for you as a way of letting people immediately engage.
I like that.
It might also be, for some of your initial audience that you're going to, this next stage of building, less intimidating for them than seeing you on a stage as you the only person speaking. Yeah. I have you ever done anything where you're coaching in front of other people or doing this transformative work with others?
Not on that scale. I mean, I coach in my business and I do all that things, but no, I haven't. And when you talk about it, I think about almost like, people do podcasts, but it's more like a YouTube channel, a lot like what you're doing right now, where I can invite people in for that, just to show,
Yes.
to have that concrete, show people what I mean.
Yes. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm also getting this thing again of, if you do a local event, if you did something like your Beautiful Essence brunch, where you make it this event where everybody, they get the yummy food, they get the time with you. It's a whole morning of just, let's step into creativity, owning our essence, all of that beautifulness. I'm sure there's local people. I guess that's why I keep on coming back to this local thing, because I feel you might have a local base that's really supportive, and the online global base too.
Okay. I like that. There's definitely a local base, but we have a lot of people stepping into their powers right now where I'm at. So,
Oh, good. All right. I'm going to see what else there is to come here. Okay. So I'm getting this sense of, even though we're talking about all these wonderful, beautiful things that you want to build, that, and maybe you know this too, of when you're going to have some of these conversations coming up, there might also then be another period of sadness, or it really does feel like sadness. And I feel this need to say that even giving yourself the time to process and feel the sadness, even if it feels in terms of like your life plan or the year's goals, like, oh, great, I'm going to just have a week of being sad and I'm not doing anything. It's not slowing you down to stop and feel the sadness and the grief and all of the emotions that are coming up or are going to come up with some of these patients, if you will, or some of these conversations that are coming up. I do feel that you will have an emotional reaction to them, and it's totally okay and necessary to give yourself the time to just be sad and feel those emotions. And I know you said you have been letting yourself feel that. So this is just extra permission, because it's not what you're going to do and you stepping into your power. There's going to be so much there, and it'll be so much better if there's not 10% of you that's like, but I needed to be sad for a week. And you're like, nope, we're moving on. We're just charging through.
Which is my personality. I mean, I have worked on taking that time, but I am feeling a big momentum right now, like divine timing momentum. And so my brain would probably be like, nope, although I did take Saturday off, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And yeah, you might need to take more days than just one off. I also get this feeling of your feet in slippers. So some of that too, to me, that's a feeling of self-care. I don't know if you have slippers. You don't have to literally get slippers
No.
if you don't. But if you do, finding little ways of letting yourself, there was a woman I did a reading for recently who's similar to you. She's very driven. She feels the momentum. She feels the divine timing. But what kept on coming up for her is take the time to ground in, take breaks, put on fluffy slippers. For you is what I'm getting. Wiggle your toes, maybe have a nice, wherever it is that you work, have nice glasses of water so that you're hydrating. And that I just bought these glasses for myself. You might not be able to tell, but there's almost like a rainbow hint to it, so that every time I see it, I'm like, ooh, my rainbow glasses. So I'm getting also this feeling of little things like that, that having a iced water that makes you have a little moment of delight. These are little ways of grounding yourself in the present moment, making your self-care, like staying hydrated, a really easy, beautiful thing. And you're so creative anyway. So it's like I do feel that you like having these joyful moments in various aspects of your life. And so, so maybe whatever grief that you have that's going to come, can you make it like a joyful grieving process, an artful process of letting go, of how can you feel the sadness in a way that also feels, what is the word? I don't know. I'm just getting these feelings of, yeah, maybe you have your sad pajamas that you wear, but they're really nice pajamas, but I'm getting this like blues and grays, and they're either silky or satiny, and you put them on and you're like, I'm going to be sad now.
Yeah.
And yet it's like, you just give yourself that permission to, okay, I'm going to be sad for the next hour in my sad pajamas.
I like that. I like the idea of little moments of delight. I do. That is something I try to do often anyway, is finding those little moments of joy. And I like the term joyful grieving. I mean,
yeah, me too.
I try to tell, it's a big thing with me, is finding the joy even in the sorrow, because it is amazing that we are feeling, having those mini celebrations, because we're feeling it, and it sucks sometimes, but it doesn't, it does, and it doesn't,
Yes. Oh, I'm looking. Do I have it here? I used to have a copy of The Prophet right over here. I feel like it's making me think of, in that book, which maybe you've read, he talks about the joy, the sorrows carve out space so that joy can fill more of that space. So sometimes when I'm grieving, I try and remember that. I think, okay, this is the other side of joy, and I don't have to fight it or run away. I can just let it be and feel it, and know that I'll be happy again, and I'm sad because of something that could have brought me joy or used to bring me joy.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. I've been getting that message of out with, it's like out so you can come in kind of thing.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Do you, sorry, I was just focusing on your last name. Do you have a lot of attachment to your name? Do you like it? Is it meaningful to you? Are you building a name for yourself with that name, or is there another name that you're building a name for with?
Right now it's with this name. I do have some attachments. The name of my kid, the last name of my kids. So there is some attachment to it. Yes.
And do you like it? Does it feel good to you?
Yeah, it does. My maiden name is Mathisen, so there's an attachment there. It took me a while to let it go, because I liked that name too. And I debated on changing my name when I got married, but I wanted the same last name as my kids. I did like that, but there's definitely some things that bug me a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. when I look at it, it almost makes me think, I wish it said she'll win, because not that winning is the best, but it does feel good. And I think
Yeah.
it would be fun if it was, I don't know, little wordplay like that makes me think that it's fun. And I don't know, sometimes when people are building themselves as a global identity, they change part of their name to be more memorable. So, and I know there's this Schwinn bike, so maybe you don't want to go with them. I don't know how they spell it, but I heard the story about John Legend. His name wasn't that, but he wanted to be a legend, so he changed that part of his name. So, and not that you have to. Whoever you are is going to impact people in a way. Yeah.
It's an interesting thought, though. I don't know if I've ever thought about that before.
Well, if you do, I've seen it coming up a lot lately of people, how do I put this? Having the permission, giving themselves permission to, as various other parts of identity are shifting, getting even more radical if they feel like it. Not that it has to be radical to change your name. All right, our time's almost up. So is there anything you want to ask before we have to go?
No, it's been, I mean, really, I love what's coming up. It's been spot on. It's great.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, this next and maybe last thing I'm getting. So I'm seeing you squeezing your kid and then squeezing a stuffed animal and getting the feeling of, I don't know if you have your own stuffed animals, you don't have to have them, but this feeling of that there's something that you know how kids feel like their stuffed animals love them, even though they're not alive. It's that type of feeling I'm getting of you. And I think it's a stuffed animal because it's like a real thing that you could touch and hug. That's a reminder of, okay, I'm loved. And even though you're the one squeezing and hugging it, the feeling is of receiving that love and remembering that you're loved and embracing. So if you don't want to buy yourself a stuffed animal, or if you don't have any, oh yes, was there a special one that you had as a kid, like a teddy bear or something like that, that was super, super special to you in your younger days?
I think I had something like that when I was younger, but I remember it falling between the bed and then it's like losing its attachment or something. I wasn't good at attaching to things as a kid, I don't think. So I remember that, like I had a few things that I liked, but then I don't know, then I forgot about them. My kids have a lot of stuffed animals. They very much are attached to their stuffed animals.
Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah, I'm also getting microphone. That would be silly, a stuffed pillow microphone, but that might be kind of fun too.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and I like that because yeah, when you're on stage, you're helping everyone, but you're also loving yourself. Whew, okay, now all the emotion is coming. Because it is going to be the ultimate act of self-love as you go on stage and continue to go on stage. And it's this funny, I almost get like the joy and the grief is this two sides of the coin thing. It feels, and the perception is, you're the one teaching everyone, speaking to everyone, whatever. But at a soul level, you're receiving so much self-love and so much love in that moment that it's just filling you up. And so you choosing to say yes to being on stage is the ultimate act of self-love.
I love that. I actually came to the conclusion after a session yesterday that what I do gets to fill others' cups and my own at the same time. And that's a cool feeling.
Yes. Oh, and maybe our time is almost up. So you mentioned a little bit, but for the viewers and for me too, can you tell a little bit about, was this helpful for you? Did you get something out of it that you feel will be beneficial to your life? Or what's kind of your overview take on our time together?
Oh yes, it was very helpful. It gave me some direction in my business that I didn't really know honest, I would have never thought of that, the agent thing. And the recognition of the grief, even though we didn't talk about it in full detail. I mean, it's just letting you know you're on your right path is always amazing, like
Mhm.
the acknowledgement that you've done so much, yet you have so far to go, and it's things that you already know. But it's nice. It's not like but I don't mean that in a way, but it's nice to like have that other perspective of that and that validation, that natural validation that you are doing what you're doing without seeking it.
Mhm.
And it was helpful. Yeah. I mean, even in the visions of me being, that when you talked about walking down the runway, I was like, okay, yeah. Um, I see that too, and so
Mm.
it was very spot on and helpful. I always love readings from people because it's that different perspective, and it's like a direction. It's like when you feel a little lost in your
Mhm.
direction, it's always amazing to get a reading because it just gives you that next step. And so it was everything I didn't know I was looking for and some of what I did. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. So beautiful. I hope I get to be in one of those stages or in one of the audiences when you're on stage at some event. So that would be fun.
That would be amazing. I'm sure our paths will cross again. Your energy is
Hmm.
amazing. It is very safe
Yeah.
feeling and it's good. So, and I can
Oh,
feel it. I mean, I'm very in tune, so I could feel you connected in.
oh, that's
So, thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you see that vision too of the runway type image. Yeah, it makes me really happy for what you're doing and what you're gonna do. So, well, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I really appreciate it.
I'm so excited to tell you about the newly released Talk to the Trees, written by myself. Talk to the Trees is a short book about connecting to the wisdom of the trees, actually, literally talking to them, metaphorically talking to them, learning from the wisdom of these elder beings. What can we gain from them in terms of resilience, how to get through hard times, how to approach the times that we're in? What do trees know about love, family, and connection? And dealing with hardships of life. You can buy it at the places linked below. I would love it if you check it out, share it with a friend, buy it for a friend, and spread the word.